scholars, I'm super excited that you're back. I hope that you're doing good and that you're ready for some more review of Module 4. This is our second video about angles, so if you have been a little bit confused about them, you're in the right place. As always, I miss you and I'm super glad that you're here for yet another video. And let's get started. Okay, so our objective for this video is that scholars will be able to use what they already know about angles to figure out missing angles by adding or subtracting. So there's three key things in here. Is we already know about angles, we already know about the different types, we know how to add, and we know how to subtract. So we're going to use all of those things together to help us find some mystery angles. I think you'll really like the lesson once you learn some key information. All you need today is paper, pencil. If you have any notes from the last videos, good idea to get those, and your lovely brains. All right. So like I said, the first thing we need to do is to review something we already know, and that's types of angles. I want you to go ahead and just blurt out to the screen all the different types of angles you know and the measurement of those angles in degrees, if you can remember from the last video. Okay, so there are different types, and then they have a number or maybe numbers for the measurement in degrees. That's the unit, degrees. Okay, ready? You're gonna get 10 seconds. 10. All right, maybe a little bit more. All right. Oop, don't want to start that again. All right, did you say all of them? Let's check. So first things first, we have our right angle. Remember our perfect corners? And that is exactly 90 degrees. It has to be 90. Remember that? 90 degrees, nothing more, nothing less. Our next one is our straight angle. That's like a straight line, and that one is kind of like a right angle. It's exactly a number, but instead of 90, it's now 180 degrees. Okay, these are good notes to take if you didn't write them down from the last video or you lost your notes. Next thing we knew is our acute angle. Cute means like really cute and small. So we know it has to be less than a right angle. Less than a right angle means less than 90 degrees. Our last one, the obtuse angle, probably the hardest one to remember because it has two different things. It has to be more or greater than 90 degrees, and it also has to be less than 180 degrees. Hopefully you got all four of them right, and if you did, here's your confetti. Congratulations. Okay, keep these notes by you because they will be super helpful during our practice problems. Okay, let's go ahead and start those practice problems. So here's the first one we're going to do together. When we look at this problem here, we see that they gave us some information, and there's some more information that they gave us inside the problem. So they're all like clues. So the first thing they told us is that angle DEF is a right angle. So from D to E to F, this angle in the middle here, or right here, where they put a little box, or from D all the way to F, we know that that is a right angle. Okay? Think about what measurement we just talked about a right angle is. It's exactly 90 degrees. That's a really important fact that we need. We also see in this picture here for our problem that we have this angle right here. So GEF, from there to there, they told us that that's 67 degrees. So they gave us another clue, 67 degrees. But that angle is a lot smaller than 90 is. And then last, we also see that there's a little tiny area over here. From D to E to G, that angle where we don't have anything at all because we have no idea what it is. That's the missing angle that we need. So now all we have to do is just take our clues, put them all together, and then find our answer. Well, this problem here, we can use something that we already know and learned and have used quite a bit. It kind of looks like this. It has a big circle and some lines that go into it. It is a number bond. So here in our problem, we actually see that we have a whole or a total and some smaller parts. Our whole here is this 90 degrees because we see, let me make that a blue circle to match our 90. Oops. Because look, our 90 is our biggest angle that we know. It covers or it goes over both of the smaller angles. So 90 has to be our total because all the other two smaller angles are inside of it. So then we're going to show that. We're going to show that this 67 degree angle is inside of the 90 degree angle. Just like right here, the 67 degrees. And then there's another small angle right here where our question mark is, that's also inside of the 90 degrees, but we don't know what that one is. So this 67 and this question mark angle, the missing one, are parts. They're smaller parts inside of the 90 degree total or whole. Well, this is where we want to use that addition and subtraction that we already know. But we got to think, do we want to add or do we want to subtract? And the way we can do that is by looking at our little number bond here. Our missing part is small and it goes inside of 90. So I want to think right now, and I'm thinking, if I add 90 degrees and 67 degrees, am I going to get a smaller number? And so we know when we add, we get more of something. And if we get more, there's no way that this number is going to get smaller. It's going to get bigger. So we know we don't want to add. But let's just check. If I subtract, if I take away 67 degrees from 90, will I get a smaller number? And you know, whenever you take stuff away, you always have less, right? So yeah, subtracting sounds like it might be a good idea. So we can go ahead and try that. So 90 degrees subtracted by the 67 that we already know will give us what's left over. And that should be that missing part. We look at our ones and we know that we're not ready to subtract, so we need to regroup. 8 in the tens place now, and now we have 10 in the ones. 10 minus 7 is 3. 8 minus 6 is 2. So we got 23 degrees. So now I'm going to put that where the missing part was. 23 degrees. So I know we just want to like box this and call it a day, but we should always check our work. So now that we think that we know the answer, 23 degrees, we know that the two smaller parts should come together and make our total, which is 90 degrees. So let's check that. I'm going to do it on the right side here. So 67 degrees plus the 23 degrees that we figured out. Let's see if it makes 90. In the ones place, 7 plus 3 is 10. So we regroup the 1 to the tens place. 6 plus 1 is 7. 7 plus 2 is 9. Look at that. There's our 90 degrees. So now we know that the 23 degrees is right. So we can say the capital T, the missing angle is 23 degrees. Period and a box. Just like that. So we took all the information they gave us, made a number bond with that information, and then figured out if we should add or subtract to figure out our answer. And what we did was we subtracted to get the answer and then added to check our answer. All right, how are we feeling? Because we have one more before it's all you. Okay, here we go. Here's our next question. This one looks a little bit different, but we still use the same steps. We always look and see what kind of information they gave us to start. So first things first, they said angle JKL is a straight angle. Look at your notes. Straight angle means that it is 180 degrees. So I'm going to mark that on my model here. So JKL. So from here all the way to the other side is 180 degrees. That's a big angle, right? Now, if we look at the rest of our picture, we see that we have a smaller angle here on the left side that they told us was 145 degrees. And then an even smaller angle on the right side that they said was X degrees. X just means that we don't know what the number is right now. X means we're trying to find it. So that's the missing angle there. Same thing as last time. I'm going to go ahead and draw my number bond. So there should be a total and some parts. Oop, let me draw that better. Some parts. So do we have a total in here? Let's take a look. Is there a number that is the biggest number and that all the parts are inside of that number? Or all the parts make this bigger number? And we can see that the 180 degrees that they told us is the whole because there's two smaller parts inside of it. The purple angle, 145, and the orange angle together makes the whole entire line. Okay, so let's go ahead and put our 180 degrees then in our biggest circle because that's the total. All right. Now we gotta put the parts inside our number bond. One of the parts is 145 degrees. They told us that, and the other part is X, our mystery angle. Okay? Same thing. Think about it. Add or subtract. Adding gets us a bigger number. Subtracting gets us a smaller number. Look at this number bond here. This is a smaller circle than the red total circle. So this has to be a part. And if we're trying to find a part, a missing part, or a missing angle, we have to subtract. Okay? So let's go ahead and do that. 180 degrees subtracted by 145 degrees. If we look at this, we know that, are we ready to subtract? We do not have enough ones, so we have to regroup from the tens. 8, we're going to borrow one of them, so it now becomes a 7, and our ones gets 10 more. 10 minus 5 ones is 5. 7 minus 4 tens is 3. And 1 minus 1 hundredths is 0. We have an answer now. 35. I'm going to go ahead and put that inside my part in the number bond. But remember, you cannot just box answers. We must check our answers. So let's go ahead and check it. We know that the two parts we put together will make the whole. So putting things together makes a big number, so that means we're going to add the two parts together. So let's check it. 145 degrees plus 35 degrees equals, one at a time, ones place, 5 plus 5 makes 10. Regroup the 1 into the tens place. 4 plus 1 is 5, plus 3 is 8, and then 1 plus 0 hundredths is 1. Matches our total. Perfect. That means that we got the correct answer, and now we can write x, or angle x, equals 35 degrees and box it. Just like that. So one more time, write out everything we know, create our number bond, think if we need to add or subtract, check our work, and then box our answer at the end. So those 5 things you're going to do now during your solo. If you can't remember what the steps are, please go back, rewind, or put the little bar at the bottom to where at the beginning of our together problem, and then look at what I did again and try it with your new problem, okay? So here we go. I'm going to erase this, and here are your solo questions. You have 2 of them, okay? So there's one on the left side and one on the right side, so there's 2 questions. Let's label this question 1, question 2. So question 1 says, angle PQR is a straight angle. So that's your first clue. And then down here in the picture, it says PQ to here. So this angle right here is 16 degrees. Let me write that so you can see that better. 16 degrees inside there. And then X degrees on the right side. Okay, this is your missing angle. And then for number 2, it says angle DCB is a right angle this time. It says the angle on the bottom is X, that's our missing angle, and then the angle on the right is 35 degrees. Okay? Good luck. I'm not going to count you down for this one, so go ahead and pause the video, finish questions 1 and 2, make sure you check your answer, and then unpause it so that we can go over and see if you got them right. Okay? Go ahead and pause in 3, 2, 1, and pause. You ready? Okay, here we go. First things first, figure out what we know. A straight angle for number 1. Straight means that it is 180 degrees. So from P to Q to R, this whole entire area is 180 degrees. It's a big angle, right? And then we know that this small angle on the left, right here, in orange, is 16 degrees. And then I'm going to do blue for this right angle right here. This angle on the right side for X, that's our mystery one. So that's the one we're trying to figure out. So looking at this, you should be able to see that 180 degrees, or angle PQR, it covers the 2 other smaller angles. The 2 small angles, the orange and blue one, are inside of the really big red angle. So our 180 degrees then has to be, let's do a bigger one, so we know that that's our total. So 180 degrees is our total, right? That makes the orange angle on the left a part, and then the blue angle that is missing the second part. Actually, they said X. So you should have thought about it, and you should have said, I'm looking for a part. A part is smaller. To make something smaller, I have to subtract. So you should have done 180 degrees minus or subtract 16 degrees. And then here is where you should have seen, hey, the ones place is not big enough on the top, and I need to regroup. Take 1 from the tens. Our ones place gets 10 more. And 10 minus 6 is 4. 7 minus 1 is 6, and 1 minus 0 is 1. 164 degrees. Looks big. Looks like it will match. I'm going to put 164 degrees there. Don't box your answer until you have checked it over. So here we are. We're going to go ahead and check it. If we subtracted to find the answer, to check it, we do the opposite. We want to add the parts to make our total. So 164 degrees plus 16 degrees. 4 plus 6 is 10. Carry our 1 over, or regroup it. 6 plus 1 plus 1 is 8. And 1 in the hundreds place is 1. It matches. That means that we can write our answer. X equals 164 degrees. Excuse me. There it is. How'd you do? If you didn't get it, go ahead and pause the video, fix what you did wrong, and then check number 2 before I go over. So pause before I go over number 2 so you can see and get the right answer for the second one. Okay, so we're looking for X this time again. And so here's our X down here. But this time they told us something new. They said DCB is a right angle. So D to C to B. So from here to here, the space in between is the angle. Right angle. Think, 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 think. A right angle is 90 degrees. Exactly 90. So now that we know that this big space for the angle is 90 degrees, let's look and see what is our total. We have 35 degrees inside of that 90 degrees, and we have X, which is also smaller and inside the 90 degrees. That means 90 degrees is our total. And then that means we also have 2 parts. We have part X that we're trying to find and the other part, which is 35 degrees. Okay. Same thing, you should have realized I'm looking for a part, so that means I need to subtract. 90 degrees subtracted by 35 degrees. We're not ready to subtract. We have to regroup. After we regroup, we subtract, and we should get 55 degrees. Okay, so let me erase that. So now it goes into this number bond. And then to check, before we box our answer, we have to do the opposite of subtracting. We need to add the parts to see if it matches our total here. So 55 degrees plus 35 degrees. 5 plus 5 is 10. Regroup the 1. 5 plus 3 plus 1 is 9. 90 degrees. Sure is. That means X equals 55 degrees. Did you get it? Did you get both of them? If you did, congratulations. I'm super proud of you. I hope you checked your work because that guarantees that you'll get the right answer. And then if you check your work and it doesn't match, then that means you know you need to go back and look at it. All right. That's pretty much the lesson, but I'm going to give you a bonus question if you think you're up for it. Here it is. So now, if you look at this one, it still gives us information. At the top, it says angle RST is a straight angle. But now we can see in our model that there's an angle that's 70 degrees, an angle that is X degrees, so that's the missing one. That's the one we don't know. And then there's an angle that's 35 degrees. There's a lot more numbers in this question. I want you to see if you are up for this challenge and if you can figure out the answer for what is x. What is our missing angle x? Okay, so go ahead and pause. Think about making that number bond. A number bond can have more than like 2 lines coming down. It can have more than one. That's my hint to you. Okay? Here are 3 seconds to pause. 3, 2, 1, pause. You ready? All right, here's the challenge. Okay, so RST, angle RST is a straight angle. So that means it is 180 degrees. So you just follow it. So R to S to T, that's a straight line. So that's from here all the way to the other side. That's 180 degrees. We notice that all of the other angles, 70x and 35 degrees, are all inside the 180 degrees. That means 180 degrees is our total. But now, hopefully you saw that we don't just have 2 parts, we now have 70 degrees, which is 1 part. We also have x, which we don't know yet, but that's another part. And we have a third part, which is 35 degrees. So that's our third part. So even though we have 3 parts, it can still go all the way up to that one big total. Okay? There are a lot of different ways you could have solved this. So some of you would have just subtracted the whole thing. So you're trying to find a part, you would have subtracted 180. Let's see. So maybe you did 180 degrees minus 70 degrees, and then you got 110 degrees, and then you subtracted 35 degrees, and then this is one where you have to regroup. Oop. See, messy there. I'm not going to do this. I'm going to make sure I write it again. So 110 degrees minus 35 degrees, which is, still can't, it's not ready yet. So 10 minus 5 is 5. 10 minus 3 is 7. All right. So maybe you subtracted twice and got 75 degrees, or there's a different way you could have solved this. I know some of you probably did this too, so this is one way. Or you could have added 70 degrees plus 35 degrees and gotten 105 degrees, and then just subtracted 105 from 180. And look at that. We get the same answer. So 75 goes there. That's what we think the answer is. But of course, we must check our work. So we need to add all 3 of these numbers, and hopefully they make 180. So 70 degrees plus 75 degrees plus 35 degrees. So in our ones place, 5 plus 5 is 10. Carry our 1 over and regroup it. 1 plus 7 is 8. 8 plus 7 is 15. 15 plus 3 is 18. Yes! Look at that. We got 180. That means our answer was correct, and x equals, or angle x equals 75 degrees. Did you get it? Here's your confetti if you got it. Here's confetti if you knew. Oh, trying to do double confetti. Double confetti if you tried a different way than what I taught you. So instead of doing this one, you did this one instead, and you still got the right answer. Nice job. That means that you're really using your brain to solve problems and find and figure out mysteries. I'm really proud of you. I hope you stick around for the next couple videos, but that's pretty much all for this video, finding the missing angles. If you have questions, just know that me and Miss Childs are always here for you. You can email us, you can send us a message on Dojo, you can come to our office hours and just talk to us and tell us, hey, I watched the video, but I still need a little bit more help on this page. All of that is fine. We miss you a lot and see you soon.